Yeah.
I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one.
Yeah.
I hope my team they won one.
Yeah. Man.
I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one.
Yeah.
I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with this hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Watson, Charles Bishop, and A.D. Drew. Welcome to the episode 784. As we are getting it done, it should be 787, I should say. Boy, we count them up. Can we get to 790? We shall see. Welcome to episode 787 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports for institutions, large and small, from the NAIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics, to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. In short, we just call it HBCU sports pedagogy. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, along with my co-host, Mike Watson and Charles Bishop. And we're filming from our home studios and sending a signal live, KCUH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer, multi-Hall of Famer, if you would, Ralph Cooper, in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. With that being said, let's bring everybody on board. It is officially March, and you know what that means. Everybody needs to seek to put on their dancing shoes. Some people are going to get to dance a little longer than others, starting with your conference tournaments and then the big dance. Who gets to go to the NCAA, NAIA tournaments and chase a national championship? We also have the Black College Invitational Championship, which will be fascinating as well to see how that rounds up. But with that being said, let me go to everybody on board. Let me go to Big Mike. Big Mike, how are you doing today?
Oh man, I am pretty good. I finally got a week of no travel after about 4 or 5 weeks straight. I am at home in Humble, Texas. I had a chance to vote. I see my man CB has his sticker. I should have worn mine. We could have been, and my frat shirt. We could have been twin brothers here, bald head and all. Voteless people is a hopeless people. Just remember that. It's important to vote. That's my one PSA. But yes, I had a chance to vote, take care of some other stuff. So it's just good to hear. And I'm excited to hear all this about March Madness. And we're going into baseball season as well. So
good stuff. Charles, as Mike alluded to, I see you have your voting sticker on. Mike did his duty. Appreciate it. I did that earlier. I didn't want to play, but I'm glad to see y'all got it in there and got it done, because it certainly is necessary. I heard the lines in different places are still pretty strong. They're huge, folks.
Big time.
Exercising their duty, it seems like.
Yeah, Doc. I like to go game day, so I'm a game day guy. So absolutely, Polish people.
I like it.
I definitely had to get out there and exercise my constitutional right, but not only that, but it's also I want to send a shout out to my chapter, Delta Phi chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha. 73 years today, so I got a bunch going on today. This March 3rd, so on this voting day, but also definitely shout out to the Delta Phi chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha back at Jackson State University. Yeah,
shout out to Delta Phi chapter. Boy, I tell you, looks like I might have to stop by the house. I have something in the car. I think I got maybe I forgot we on live. Anyway,
wait a minute, Dr. Cavil, my first other request, a special shout out to young lady Camille Bishop, Episcopal High School, pole vault record, what was it, 12 feet, 3.65 meters.
12 feet.
Charles sent us the prep. Man, I know he's a proud daddy, but not only did she win the event, she set a record. So congratulations to Camille Bishop.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Got to shout out my baby.
Yeah, good job, Mike. Good job. You just saved Charles. You just saved Charles.
I was waiting to see if he gonna tell a lie and say, "Yeah, I used to pole ball too," but he didn't.
No,
the only thing he pole balled was that curve.
I wish.
No. Hey, Drew, how you doing today?
You know, you talk about the dancing shoes, Dr. Cavil. There's always going to be a run on the local CVS or Walgreens as people's blood pressure medicine. They will find out very fast how well their blood pressure pills work during this time of the year, especially when their team is in a 1 or 2 possession ball game down the stretch and their team is on the bottom side of it. Hope I don't have to experience any of that over the next 4 days. So I just want to throw that out there. But also, for me, it's today also is a kind of a bittersweet day. It's it was my grandfather's birthday today. So he passed when I was in high school, but for some reason this day I could be doing whatever whenever and March 3rd, and it just hit me.
Yeah,
it's birthday. And at some point in time, my mother, I would either call my mother or she would call me, and we'll be like, you know what today is, right? And then we just sit there and talk about my grandfather. So
beautiful. I'm glad you shared that with us. That's because the ancestors do not make mistakes, and he certainly is smiling upon you to make sure that he can do what he can on his side to provide you with ammunition to move forward. With that being said, we do have a solemn moment that we need to acknowledge before we get into. We like to make sure that we honor those that came before us. Some of them came after it. Life cuts off short, but those that have become ancestors that are connected with HBCUs, we honor them here. The first one, we have two, unfortunately. The first one is North Carolina Central Athletic mourns the passing of Stephen Perry. Stephen Perry, a former offensive lineman for the North Carolina Central University football program, passed away Sunday morning in a car crash on Durham Freeway. The North Carolina State Highway Patrol confirmed he was 30 years old. Perry led it as an offensive lineman for the Eagles from 2014 to 2017. Durham, North Carolina native, played 30 games during his collegiate career, including starting in all 11 games his senior season in 2017. He was a key member of the 2016 team that won the MEAC championship after going a perfect 8-0 in conference play, culminating in NCCU's first appearance in the Celebration Bowl. While at NCCU, Perry was a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, joining the Mighty Tau Psi chapter. Perry graduated in 2018 with a degree in criminal justice, and he went on to join the North Carolina Highway Patrol. Perry attained the rank of Master Trooper, was a member of the 148th Basic Patrol School. He served Durham County throughout his career. Prayers out to him and all those are connected with him. Ex-Bethune-Cookman quarterback Dominique Ponder has died at 23. He's a Colorado quarterback, Dominique Ponder, and a former Bethune-Cookman signal caller, died Saturday night at the age of 23. According to various media reports, Coach Deion Sanders announced Ponder's death Sunday. An emotional message on social media calling the third-year quarterback one of his favorites and asking for prayers for Ponder's family, teammates, and friends. Dom was one of my favorites. He was loved, respected, and a born leader. End quote. Sanders wrote on X. Let's pray for all that he knew him and had the opportunity to be in his presence. Lord, you are receiving a good one. Comfort us, Lord, comfort us. End quote. It looks like his was also a car accident, tragic moment. Then I also want to go a little outside of the HBCU. Never know, but obviously we're in time of stress in terms of a war, no matter what some want to call it. And that means those that are in service to the country that do not control when that decision is made, and we have some individuals that have lost their life serving this country. So I'd like to take a moment of silence for all these individuals at this period. With that being said, let's get into some news. We have some champions to talk about. Drew, do you want to talk about a champion first? Which direction you want to go to?
Heck no, I don't want to talk about Steven and winning that championship.
We had 4 of them. You could have chosen either one. The video montage he did was pretty nice too. Well, I tell you.
Yeah. You want me to go NAIA or NCAA?
That's up to you. Yep,
all right. Well, I could hit all of them, and we could say the news for some other news. How about that? But I'm gonna start off the radar. How about this? How about Arkansas Baptist won the Continental Athletic Conference tournament? For those who do not know, the Continental Athletic Conference or the NAIA Independents, all the independents get together at the end of the year and play for a tournament berth. So Arkansas Baptist won that particular matchup by a score of 82-78 over Georgia Gwinnett, and the tournament was hosted at Georgia Gwinnett. So they defeated the host team on their own floor. Now,
that's the men's side, right?
Say again? Yeah, that was on the men's side. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I guess I could get into that Stephen Gaither stuff, you know. That little championship that they won over there in Baltimore or whatever it is. Winston-Salem defeated Fayetteville State, 2-time defending champion, Fayetteville State, by a score of 60-43. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, Dr. Cavil. The game was not even that close, and they won by 17.
Right.
So that took care of the women's side there, and on the men's side, in an excellent ball game, back and forth ball game, Fayetteville, the matchup that everybody wanted to see, Fayetteville State and Bluefield State, the two teams that literally made a coaching trade during the offseason. Wound up on the opposite side of the bracket and wound up playing for the CIAA championship. So Fayetteville defeated Bluefield 71-68. So Fayetteville was not able to do the double-double, but they were able to get one. So I'll just leave it right there.
Did the double-double?
Yes. Yeah, they did by winning the regular season and the conference championship. And then, of course, we had the HBCU AC, but I'm going to leave a little bit of beat out there for y'all if anybody want to get that.
I need the meat. I need the meat for my house.
Because especially considering your ties to one of the champions.
Yes, indeed.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Charles.
All right, let's get it right here. All right, the Russ College Lady Bearcats, they won the 2026 HBCU AC Women's Basketball Championship. The Russ College Lady Bearcats have returned to the top of the HBCU AC, beating Talladega Lady Tornadoes 67-60 to claim the 2026 Women's Basketball Conference Championship. I am the best husband ever. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Mike, what direction are you going?
Well, heck, it's absolutely no meat on the bone from me. So I'm gonna go.
You still got the men on in the HBCU AC, the upset.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna let you have because I thought we were talking about women. So y'all
I like that.
I thought we were talking about women. I'm sorry. So,
my bad.
So
we all supposed to be talking about women.
So how about this? I will go a little bit off script, and I will go with a poster script that I got. Duke legend Nolan Smith wins the OVC Coach of the Year. He made history pretty much on and off the court at Tennessee State in his first year. The coach The program earned a share of the regular season OVC title, the first for them since I believe '94, and they got #1 seed. So congratulations to him. Accolades. I mean, you got to admit, Tennessee State finished the season with nearly average when what was he played his basketball where at Worcester State. I can't even recall where that was.
They had a Division III guy, Division II guy getting a lot of points and point guard position, and playing some heavy basketball, strong at the end of the season.
Yeah. So you got heads. I mean, big. Man, I'm kind of looking at the data. You know me, and we looked at this 4 weeks ago. Tennessee State was down in 3rd or 4th place, and we asked, could they come back and have a share of the conference? But congratulations to Nolan on this season and getting, the OVC Coach of the Year. So that's my off the script one. Y'all can have all of the other championships. I know y'all got ties to them, so I don't want to be accused of taking meat off the bone.
Yeah, I would say Dr. Mickey Allen over there at Tennessee State, back-to-back years, had a co-championship in football, not a co-championship in basketball with the #1 seed. So he's doing some things right there, particularly how he's created that the football schedule. I think a lot of people are still excited about some of those games coming up over the next couple of years, not just this year. Obviously, you do have the Suno Knights. I want to make sure we give some love to HBCU AC on the men's side. Upset there big time in terms of winning a championship. So excitement down for what they're doing there. Last thing I will say is MEAC weekly awards. You have Howard Ford, Xenia Thomas was named MEAC Player of the Week, presented by Wells Fargo. Delaware State guard Amy Scott was named Rookie of the Week, while teammate Erica Huggins earned Defensive Player of the Week honors, respectively. Thomas Ford, 6'2" senior, averaged 16.5 points and 9 rebounds over 2 games, including a double-double of 11 points and 10 rebounds against Coppin State. In the following contest, she led Howard with 22 points and 8 rebounds in the 84-65 win over Morgan State. Scott, freshman, 5'3" guard, scored 22 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. As Mike would like to say, stocking stuffer over a 2-0 week for the Hornets against South Carolina State. She finished with 12 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds, and followed that performance with 10 points, 3 assists, and 1 rebound against North Carolina Central. Huggins, the sophomore 6-foot forward, totaled 7 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 blocks, and 29 points in a 2-0 week versus the Hornets. Giving some love there. With that, let's take our first break. Come back on the other side. We'll get into the mid-major rankings. But before we do that, we'll give you some updates on the scores. As we have the end of the year, things kind of did a turn. We did some Thursday, Saturday, and this week to give teams that have to start off early with all 12 teams going. You have games Tuesday and Thursday, those that have the double headers, if you would, both men's and women's. And then you have the single game with the rivalry, which is Thursday. In addition to that, that one will be Prairie View and Texas Southern. But in terms of women's game, Jackson State is up early big over Pine Bluff. That's 46-29 with 3:34 left in the third. You have Alabama State Southern in a really good game at this point. But the Hornets are up 40-35 over the Jaguars with 5:12 left in the third. Alabama A&M is getting it done against Grambling, 31-16, 2:38 left in the second quarter. Early on, also in the second quarter, is Alcorn State over Mississippi Valley State, 20-10 with 9:51 left in the second quarter. Let's take our first break, come back on the other side, and as we said, we'll get into the mid-major poll rankings, top 5, in week number 9. We're closing up on things, gentlemen. Let's see what we're going to do for the rest of the basketball season. And your thoughts on this week's poll. Stick with us. Be right back after this next break.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU image, a Kenny T's company.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell them mama hungry.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Watson, Charles Bishop, and AD Drew, bringing us the news of the week. With that being said, let's get into our mid-major poll rankings for the women in week number 9. We'll talk about those teams dropping out, or maybe not, because nobody really dropped out this week, but we'll start there in terms of those who dropped out. Then let's get into receiving votes in terms of what took place there. We have receiving votes. Bowie State Lady Bulldogs, 19-8, 10-5, 33. They probably have closed out on the season. Unlikely that they'll give a NCAA vote, but they still have some other postseason. We'll see what that looks like potentially. Lane Lady Dragons finished the season at 25 in terms of the regular season, but now they off to the tournament. It'll be interesting to see what they can get done in tournament play. In terms of the HBCU Oakwood Lady Ambassadors had a solid season. Didn't want to get it done. Tough loss early in the tournament as they are at 17-9 and 10-2. Wiley Lady Wildcats finished at 16-8, 9-3 in terms of their tournament play season. Paul Quinn Lady Tigers 15-10, 8-4 for a solid season themselves. Also, let's get into the top 5 in terms of the rankings here. Langston Lady Lion, 24-5, 18-4, 34 points. They dropped several spots. They dropped from number 2 all the way to number 5. They lost the first round of their tournament, but they should be in good position as they won the regular season in terms of postseason play as a bid for the NAIA. And number 4, Fayetteville State Lady Broncos sit at 21-5, 13-3. 47 points. They do move up a spot going deep in the tournament, creating what we wanted for the finals. Seeking a three-peat, they were denied by Winston-Salem State. First-year coach gets it done. Big time, big time. And number 3, you have the Miles Lady Golden Bears sit at 22-5, 20-4. One first-place vote with 55 points. They do move up a spot. They're hot going into the tournament. It'd be interesting to see what that looks like. The matchup that some people want to see in the SIAC championship game would be against number 2 in this poll ranking, which is Edward Waters Lady Tigers, West versus the East. Coming out of the East, Edward Waters Lady Tigers sit at 23-4, 21-3 in conference play. 2 first place votes, 2 points if you would, and they were 3 as they move up a slot this week. Bringing us to number 1. So Salem State Lady Rams, they stay in the 1 spot. They add a couple of first place votes with a division championship, now a CIAA tournament championship, the first one in school history for the women. Big time, as they did it in classic fashion, defeating, as we said, 2-time champion Fayetteville State Lady Broncos. While we kid Stephen A. Gaither, the post game that he did with the coaches, I thought was fascinating in terms of getting additional light showed on some basketball that's playing really well. Those 2 programs, the coach made the most of it. It was entertaining, and you could tell that they were jostling, but did it in a way. And as Winston State Ram Nation said, dominant. It's number 1, Winston-Salem State Lady Rams. Stephen Gaither told us early on, and they have showed up, and they've certainly got it done in terms of the regular season and postseason. They get it done 26-3, 14-12. You talking about for the record book, 6 first place votes, 67 points, and remain number 1. And it'll be intriguing. Can they hold on to that for postseason play in terms of their expectation of what do they want to get done? Regardless, at this point, they really have done a lot of good work. Charles, what are your thoughts on the top 5?
Well, it's a reminder that we are in March. Disappointed to see Lynx lose their first round game, but like you said, they should be in good shape being the regular season champions. But I mean, when you take a look at 2, 3, 4, I think that's right on point. When you take a look at it, nobody playing a better ball to me right now. Edward Waters 10-0 over their last 10 games with a win over Miles. So that's huge going down the stretch. And then, shout out to Stephen Gaither, man, chumming the waters pretty nicely there in a joking manner. But, a little extra bulletin board. And Winston-Salem came out on top. So kudos to the Lady Rams for getting it done in the tournament. So.
Good point. Mike, your thoughts?
Yes, Mr. Stephen Abrams Gator, or whatever your middle name is. Whatever your government name is, I tip the hat to you. Congratulations on the Lady Rams. They won their first championship. Yay, you. All right. That's all I'll say to that. So, I agree with CB on one thing. 2, 3, and 4 are tough. Miles, they had that one, their second to last loss to Edward Waters. Edward Waters is playing tough. Winston-Salem, I would like to see a matchup because those 2, 3, and 4 teams all have something in common. They're holding their opponents to about 50 points a game on the defensive side, and on the offensive side, scoring about ranging going up between 60 to 64, 65 in total offensive output. So I would kind of wonder, what kind of game that would be when, if those 2 teams match up. But that 2, 3, and 4 is solid. No issues. Even the Lady Langston Lions, I always, mess with them about the conference they play to the teams, but they definitely are a solid 5. I think they lost I thought it was their second to last or last. I may have had the stats wrong. Game of the seasons, but they're looking tough as well. So nothing wrong, but that 2, 3, and 4 looks awfully. We know what the Winston-Salem can do, but that 2, 3, and 4 is tough especially down the last 5 games of the season. And you look at that winning percentage, I think it's 96, 97 point something percent between 2, 3, and 4 in their last 5 games.
Nice. Mike with the data, Charles.
How about that?
AD Drew, what direction are you going with the top 5?
I want to start off with a little bit of a data correction. Charles, you were correct. Everwaters has won the last 10 in a row, but when you take a deeper dive, it's actually 13 consecutive.
Yeah.
And 21 of the last 22, if I counted them up right. 22 of the last 23, something ridiculous like that. But the only loss being the Clark Atlanta all the way back on January 8th. So to let you know how far back this streak goes for them. And this streak goes all the way back into November that I'm talking about, everybody. So shout out to Coach Eric Jackson over there at Edward Waters. But how far have the mighty fallen so fast? Oh my God. Wasn't it just a couple of weeks ago when Langston was challenging for number 1, and now they are holding on by a string? And if Lane, who was receiving votes, gets hot in this SIAC tournament, we may not have an NAIA in our ranking next week, Dr. Cavil. I mean,
it could be the case.
I'm just saying. Now, here's the question. Should Miles or Edward Waters win the SIAC, especially if those two match up in the finals? Will it be enough to jump Winston-Salem State?
That's the question.
Recency bias. But overall, Dr. Cavil, and none of your frat brothers have said this, so I'm gonna say it for you. I have no problem with your poll, Dr. Cavil.
Thank you. Somebody. Good brother.
I said that. You missed it. See? Data correction right there. I said I have no issue with the poll. I
said no problem. You said no issue. There's a difference.
Okay, what's the difference? I said no issue, no problem, whatever. Next time I say it in Spanish so you can understand.
I definitely will understand what the hell you're talking about.
So let me ask this question. So looking at Edward Waters' body of work, if they are able to get it done in the SIC tournament, they have a better than average chance to jump Winston-Salem State for number 1?
I think it'd be tough.
You can make the argument.
It depends on just how they go through the tournament.
They
dominated similar or even more than the Lady Rams.
Yeah,
I think there's a plausibility they can make it, but I think that's a lot to get done. Because you not only you'll get Miles, right? You'll get that ranking.
Yeah,
pretty much, probably.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing in Edward Waters'
favor. But then you got to pull the points away and votes away as the number 1 team from the Lady Rams that's been there. And so you need to pull away at least 3 of them?
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
I do agree. It depends on how they win. I do agree.
Yeah.
If they win in some shot buzzers or whatever, that's different than kind of dominating the path through there. I agree.
Yeah.
Of course, Brother Gabe is gonna put the data out there for us. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they only have to pull away 2 from Salem. They at least could tie.
Yeah. Here's the one thing in Edward Waters' favor. Should they win the tournament,
yes,
that will be 25 of the last 26 that they have won.
That is impressive.
That's impressive.
That's impressive.
Yes. As hot as Winston has been, Edward Waters has been even hotter should they win this tournament.
Man, can we get that matchup in the NCAA tournament somehow? Deep in there, what is that? It probably had to be Elite 8.
Yeah, it would be in the 8 because they wouldn't match up until the 8. So.
Man, boy, you talking about teams being hot, Elite 8. That matchup
and both Edward Waters and Miles should make it to the NCAA, particularly if they make it to the tournament semifinals. I don't see either one of those teams not making the NCAAs.
No.
Definitely if they both make the finals.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I don't see it, but it would be hard stretch to say for them not to make it.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our next break. We'll come back on the other side and see if we can get this type of discussion for the major division as things are wrapping up there. Then we'll get you some scores as we come back on the other side. Nobody scored 50 on us. Okay, nice statement. You're going to keep the data points coming throughout the show. Gaither,
Man, can
we'll
we
be right
mute his
back after
mic?
this next break.
Can we mute his button so he can't send nothing?
Yeah, we're not going to do that to them. We can, but we're not. We'll be right back after this break.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavil of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop, as well as A.D. Drew. You just heard us break down the mid-major with a lot of good discussion. A lot of that was in regards to the SIAC tournament. Winston-Salem State got their due, but some good talk about Edward Waters. Can they get it done? That will be interesting. Obviously, potentially a matchup with Miles as well. With that being said, let's go to the major division and see if we have any kerfuffle over there. Dropping out of the poll this week is Alabama State Hornets. Still playing really good basketball. Tough loss to Alabama A&M in the rivalry game. But other teams playing just as good pushes them over just a little bit. But things can change quickly this week as those teams match up. In fact, you have Alabama State and Southern playing each other. So it'll be fascinating to see what that will do in terms of the poll rankings for next week as we head into the tournament. That being said, let's see who's receiving votes. UMass Hawks sit at 10-3 out of the MEAC with 34 points. You have the Alabama State Hornets sitting at 11-5 with 33 points. UAPB Golden Lions 9-7, faltering a little bit with 17 points. Jackson State Tigers are still in the mix in the receiving votes at 9-7 as well, 16 points. And Grambling State Tigers also at 9-7 with 14 points. Let's get into the top five. With the top five, we're going to start with number 5, which is Southern Jaguars sit at 14-13, 11-5 in conference race at 40 points. They were not ranked last week, so they jumped back in the top 5. They've been kind of playing ring around the rosy with that Alabama State Hornets team over the last couple of weeks. At number 4, you have the Alcorn State Braves seeking to finish the season really strong. They have 16-11, 13-3. 59 points, and they stay in that 4th spot. Bringing us to number 3, Norfolk State Spartans sit at 16-12, 11-2 with 1 first place vote, 63 points. They are in the 3rd pole position, and they stay there in week number 9. Bringing us to number 2, Howard Bison, 22-7, 12-1, are seeking to close out the season for a regular season championship. They will have to face the 3 in terms of Norfolk State Spartans, so that will be fascinating to see, can they get that done. They have 3rd place votes, 75 points, and they remain at the 2 spot. Alabama A&M Bulldogs, big win over their rival, also allowed them to get at least a share of the championship and lock things up. Number 1 seed, Alabama A&M Bulldogs, sit at 19-9, 15-1, 15 straight wins after losing their opening game. They have not lost since and are seeking to close out in a fascinating fashion, creating history, much like Winston-Salem State. Alabama A&M Bulldogs do it for the first time at the Division I level for the women's program with the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Shout out to the coach getting it done and the team players. Love the celebration they had. 4 first place votes, 76 points, and they remain in the number 1 spot. Last week we had Dave on here, and I don't know if it's his old MEAC Kindred Spirits, but he had a little concern that Howard should be in that number 1 spot. He based a lot of what they were able to do in terms of the non-conference race, which certainly made a lot of sense. But I want to see what you all think in terms of the major division in week number 9. I'm going to start with you, A.D. Drew.
I was just getting ready to go where Dave went last week. Right 5. I'm flipping 1 and 2, Dr. Cavil. I'm putting Howard ahead, especially when you consider what they have been able to do early, what they've been able to do consistently. Yeah, I've got to go with the Bison. And even if you left this right here where it is,
yes,
a top 5 victory this week would definitely vault Howard over Alabama A&M in the next poll. And so if you wanted to argue Alabama A&M is where they are, no problem. I can respect that. But a 2-3 matchup and W gets Howard to the number 1 slot versus the other way. If Norfolk defeats Howard, I'm leaving Alabama A&M at the number 1 slot going into next week. Southern in the 5 spot. You got a lot going on right there. I'm gonna say this right here, and I'm gonna leave it right there. And I know we're gonna talk about this. Real interesting race in the SWAC for 5, 6, 7, with everybody tied 9-7. So I'm going right there. Some of those teams that are receiving votes that I'm talking about. Everybody,
be careful.
Charles, it looks like you're ready to jump in here, so I'm gonna go to you without further ado.
I can agree with AD with regards to Howard and Alabama A&M flipping, but listen. We get to the tournament. Be careful with that Southern Jaguar team. They can play some defense. They really, really swarm, and they'll be up around the tournament team. But I got an opportunity to put eyeballs on them this past week. They're impressive. They really get after you on the defensive side of the ball, and then when they're knocking down a few threes, but they're long, they play passing lanes. They are a very dangerous team once we get to the tournament. So I know they've been playing, kind of like you said, Doc, kind of playing footsie with Alabama State, falling in and out at that 5 spot. But I can't wait till the tournament next week to see these elite teams, how they kind of match up with each other. And it's some very interesting matchups going into the tournament. I think, those receiving votes, you mentioned UAPB, Grambling, Jackson State. I don't know if it's addition by subtraction with Jackson State, but they seem to have kind of rallied around Coach Richards lately. So, I think we're in for a really, really fun tournament next week.
Great points you make there. I agree. Southern's defense is tough, known for it, and they don't let you down this year. Only question I got is their ability to score.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you cannot turn the ball over on them, they can still play defense with you. But part of what they do on defense is also turn you over. If you can get a little better play, turn your point guard, not turning that ball over, they can get in some challenges in terms of being able to score. With that being said, Mike, let you close out on this segment. What are your thoughts in terms of the main division for the women in week number 9?
I'm basically just gnawing on the bone and eating the marrow because y'all didn't leave any meat on this thing. So I'm just sucking a little bit of sauce that's just left on them really good bones. All I can do is concur. I was looking at Howard versus Alabama A&M. You can't argue with the Bulldogs' record, but if you look at the last 10 games data shot and compare, and their average span of victory, and you've seen them play, I think you can make a legitimate argument. I hadn't had a chance to watch much, but I have seen Howard and the Bulldogs play. Howard looks like a really good team. It's kind of like the men's. They just woke up toward the middle of the season and decided we can play basketball again because they weren't at the top when we started the season. The other thing, back to CB's point, and he this is building off of his, I'm always weary of those teams who are strong in defense. So statistically, you look at Alabama A&M, who's leading the SWAC. It's actually, when it comes to women's basketball, it's Texas Southern, and then Grambling, Alabama A&M, and then Southern. The number one defensive teams are Alabama A&M and Southern. Southern's defensive press is awesome, and more specifically, their turnover margin and assist to turnover ratio is twice that of the second team in the SWAC. So defensive side, they're good, but if you look at where they're scoring offensively, they're somewhere middle of the road. So they can press you on the defense, but when it comes to offensive output, they got to hit a streak, so to speak. So, but you do for that reason statistically worry about a team that's that solid on the defensive side in a conference. So that's building off CB's point. So, but Howard also, if you look at their offensive output to defense, they're and compare them to like Alabama A&M. They're comparable, but I think Howard looks stronger statistically. That's just me. And I've only had 2 or 3 data points with each team. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Drew, AD, it looks like you want to say something.
They started the season hot. They got caught by the snowstorm, and now they've gotten hot again. Can Maryland Eastern Shore get up in here?
Yeah. That's a good one. Good call.
Can they remember we started talking about Maryland Eastern Shore at the beginning, somewhere at the beginning.
That's why I said they started hot.
But
and they fell off, but now they're back on it.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Can they be the spoiler in the MEAC?
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, before we take the break, let me give you these scores. Alcorn State, the Braves over Mississippi Valley State by 14, 39-25 at the half. You have Alabama A&M, the Bulldogs over Grambling State. Tigers by 12, 37-25 at half. Well, it's moved into the third quarter, 9:40. Just kicked back off. You have Jackson State over Pine Bluff, 58-49, with a minute and 2 seconds left in the fourth. You got a good one where Southern just took the lead over Alabama State, 54-52, with 5:21 left in the fourth. As Alabama State was leading by 4-3, and Southern, I imagine, as Charles talked about, toughen up on the defense, probably got some steals in the three to put in the mix, and now they're at the top. That one probably will go down the stretch, and it should be an exciting one, so we'll keep you up on that. Let's take our last break. We'll come back on the other side, talk a little bit more about some games on Thursday for the women's side and some early thoughts on the tournament. That's the SIAC for the women and the SWAC MEAC tournament for the women as well. We'll be right back after this last break.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
And we have to fund our kids in these colleges, and we have to make sure our kids have seats in these colleges.
Now, what about HBCUs? You mentioned.
Absolutely. You got to fund them all, and you've got to make sure they're properly funded. You know, the real reason why I went after Comcast and Charter, it didn't have anything to do with my cable networks. It didn't. What happened was a gentleman wanted to do the Black College Sports Network in partnership with the HBCUs. And Comcast did not accept it. And that would have made a lot of money for these black colleges.
Absolutely.
And it would have educated the Black College Sports Network. This is what he wanted to do. That would have educated a lot of black kids. And when they didn't do that, that's when I came off the bench and said, okay, I'm going to light you up like a Christmas tree.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want to lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gonna teach a lesson.
Boy, we can't even go to a break, gentlemen. I had to do some swag TV. Boy, I love this. You had Alabama State knotted up at 54. Southern Comebacks hits a 3 and then gets a steal. Now they are 59-54 with 3:41 and ticking left. Alabama State with the ball. Trying to get it done. That is the bomber. Boy, that's the type of thing you want to see at the tournament. With that being said, let's talk about a couple of games, move ahead. Talk about a couple of these games on Thursday for the women and see what you all think to close out things. You have Grambling at Alabama State. You got Southern at Alabama A&M. Good chance for close out the season, make a statement, right? Arkansas Pine Bluff at Alcorn State. That would be a good one, tournament-wise. Bethune-Cookman at FAMU, the rivalry. Good. Mississippi Valley at Jackson State, another rivalry game. You got Prairie View at Texas Southern. Can Prairie View go on the road and get the win? Both teams obviously struggling as Prairie View's lost 22 straight, 0-17 in the conference race. Texas Southern has lost 8 straight.
Yeah.
So look at it for a different reason there, but intriguing just in terms of can the Prairie View Panthers find a way not to go 0-18. But the other games are probably more interesting, obviously, in terms of those matchups. Let me give you the MEAC side of things. Well, let's talk about the SWAC first, and then I'll give you the MEAC and see where you want to go there. Overload you. Let me start with you, Charles. What are your thoughts so far in terms of those matchups I talked about coming up Thursday? Obviously, you look like you're safe with Alabama A&M. Nothing's over until the game's over. You got a close one there to Alabama State and Southern, so we'll keep you updated there. But with that being said, what's on your mind as things close up for the regular season?
Huge opportunity for the Southern Lady Jaguars to make a statement at Alabama A&M and bloody their nose on the way to the SWAC tournament. And so that's the one I'm going to be paying attention to. I mean, they're the defending or their title was taken in terms of Alabama and A&M winning the regular season SWAC championship, but they still have a statement to make in terms of going into the 2026 SWAC tournament. So that's the one I'm going to be paying attention to. That's the marquee matchup for me this upcoming Thursday.
Yeah, you're right. The way they're going 42-29, that will give them the regular season championship if they hold out. Somehow you get a miracle comeback. You're talking about that part of it. And then you have a chance for Southern to give a share of that to Alcorn State Braves, oddly enough. But let me go to you, AD Drew, in terms of your Thursday games. What are your thoughts in terms of what do you have your eyes on for that matchup?
Well, with look, Arkansas Pine Bluff looking like they're about to lose to Jackson State with only 16 seconds left. Now my attention is going to shift to Arkansas Pine Bluff at Alcorn
Yup.
because a loss by Arkansas Pine Bluff now puts them into the play-in on day 2 of the tournament. So that Jackson State with this victory, they'll probably get the victory over Valley. So that keeps them safe from that extra game. Same thing with you got Jackson State with Alabama State. Alabama State, Grambling. Alabama State should get the victory. So Arkansas Pine Bluff looks like it may be that odd team out when I was talking about those 3 teams sitting at 9 and 7 with the odd man out having to play that extra game. So that's the game that I really want to focus on out of all of them. Yeah, A&M Southern, the sexy matchup, the 1-2 or the 1-2, 1-3, whatever it winds up being, one of the games people want to see in the finals. But let's look at the race at the bottom, everybody.
Good call. Jackson State just hit 2 free throws to go up 61-56 with 15.1 left in that matchup. SWAC TV, baby. And then you have with 2:13 left, excuse me. The Jaguars up 63-58. And obviously you have the Bulldogs matchup on SWAC TV. That one's in commercial break in terms of that matchup. So let me go to you, Mike. What are your thoughts in terms of those Thursday games based on some of these finishes that we're having here on Tuesday?
Oh, I think AD and CB have hit it. I mean, you can't go wrong with the Southern, with the Jaguars and Bulldogs going at each other. You got number 3 and 4 offense and number 1 and 2 defense going at each other. One does not necessarily have to win, but it'll be interesting. I don't know who said it, AD or so. It'll be interesting what kind of impact, what kind of dent the Southern leave in that game or that impact in that game. I also was looking at the Pine Bluff Alcorn State game as well, from the perspective of what kind of noise can Pine Bluff
Mike,
make.
let me break in here because Charles is about to lose it. Pine Bluff just hit a 3 with 7 seconds left, so it's getting exciting over there. While you talking there, he can't breathe. So go ahead, Mike. Sorry to interrupt, but with some of these games will do that to you.
Yeah, Pine Bluff just hit a 3, and I was just saying, I was wondering what kind of dent can Pine Bluff make. That's the only reason I was making it. So that
you're saying it right. That game is 59-61 with 7.9 seconds. So yeah, as Drew was ready to bury him, Pine Bluff says, "Hey man, we got 7, 8,
not so fast.
Seconds left. They foul them, so they go into the line. They need to hit 2. Hit 1, they give them a chance." We'll keep you updated on that. Let's go back to Southern before I ask you my next question as we in this mix. Looks like they're in solid shape over there in terms of 135 left. It's a 4-point game. Jaguars up 63-59 in terms of what that matchup. And boy, I tell you, SWAC is fantastic, and the SWAC TV lets you live all of this live in action. That's not just doing the clicker from ESPN. You can go and see the action as it gets down. Let's go into the MEAC because I'm sure there's some excitement.
Charles can breathe now. Should knock both of them down. Ball game.
Yeah. Thank you for making sure you let him breathe because over there, boy,
63-59 is the final.
He was looking some kind of way. So in the MEAC on the women's side, you have South Carolina State at North Carolina Central. Those teams are just trying to figure out how to close out their season with a win. You have Howard at Norfolk State. That's the matchup. I believe. You do have Delaware State and Maryland Eastern Shore. Talk a little bit about UMass. They should be able to get that, so they'll close strong. And you have Coppin State and Morgan. That is the Battle of Baltimore. With that being said, Mike, MEAC, I think obvious, but I have to ask.
No need to ask. you got 1 and 2 in offense, 1 and 2 in defense going against each other. There's nothing else that needs to be said. Howard, Norfolk State.
And not only that, this is a classic matchup between these teams over the last almost decade,
Exactly.
at least half a decade for sure. So you're right. It's a classic matchup with both teams playing well, and you just never know. Charles, you see anything any different there on the mid?
Not at all. I mean, I think everything we gave Mike all the meat on that one. So yeah, it's Howard and Norfolk State.
Well, yeah. I think I did more damage than anything. He just said, no, it's obvious. And you saying it's obvious too. 80 Drew. I'm going to ask you from the SIAC tournament perspective. You can start with the MEAC SWAC, but make sure you give some updates of what you're thinking in terms of what to watch out for in the SIAC tournament as well.
All right. Well, let me get this. The loss by Norfolk really makes this thing interesting if Norfolk were to lose tomorrow, because coupled with a Maryland Eastern Shore win, those two teams would be tied at 11-3. And if you use the common tiebreakers, they split on the season. So now you wind up going through record against the best. Maryland Eastern Shore has a victory over Howard.
Yeah.
So that would mean probably Maryland Eastern Shore gets the tiebreaker and actually winds up at the number 2 seed.
They also lost head-to-head, right? Norfolk State.
They split. Right. So normally you go to your record against the best team. Maryland Eastern Shore has a win over Howard, where Norfolk would be 0-2 should they lose Thursday.
No, the other one is point differential. Sometimes they do point differential.
Right. I don't know what the MEAC does, but if they go
I'm just tying if that's the one you're right there. But if they do point differential, then the tiebreak goes to Norfolk State. So it'll be interesting to see what is the tiebreak rule.
Which order
if that happens, and we'll play that out and see who wins before we get into that. But we might slide that in a little bit on Thursday's show to give you some updates there. But that's fascinating. Give me some stuff on the SIAC.
Man, any one of 3 teams could win the. Actually, any one of 4 teams could win the SIAC.
Real?
Yeah. Don't sleep on Lane.
Okay.
We know the obvious too. Don't sleep on Lane. Clark Atlanta is a team. If their outside shot is falling, they are a dangerous team. And a sneaky good team is Allen. I don't know what makes Allen good. I've seen them play, but they find ways to win. That's why I say Allen is a team that could do something. But and don't ask me to pick, because Coach Jackson, that's my boy. Coach Pete and Miles, that's my boy. And ain't no way in hell y'all gonna have me put it on wax which one of them I'm picking for and which one of them I'm picking against, y'all. I just want y'all to know that. But
who you going with, AD?
Look. I rocks with both of them. I'll go smoke a cigar with both of them right now if they invited me. So that's the thing with that, man. So but it's gonna be good. All games.
You can't give all that analysis and then crawfish out.
Oh no. I just did.
You're crawfishing out. Come on.
I just did. No, but all games will be streamed on ESPN Plus. And I believe the men's championship game is actually going to be on the U, if I remember correctly. So make sure you check out the SIAC.
Couldn't finish. 63-62 Southern tried to have a layup, left it short on the rim. Alabama State takes up a shot, misses the shot. Rebound by Southern and the foul.
Yep.
24.3 seconds left in that matchup. We do have a final, as you alluded to, AD Drew. Jackson State over Pine Bluff 63-59. The Valley Alcorn games got a little closer. The Braves still lead by 7, 47-40, with 3:47 left in the third. Alabama A&M is up by 13, 46-33, with 2:17 left in the third. 24 seconds left, 63-62. Southern going to the line. Any final thoughts as we close it off? Trying to see if we can sneak in there and maybe play this one out before we call it a show. Leave those that are listening to us. Charles, what do you got?
Yeah, kudos to Alabama A&M's fan base. That was tremendous to see sell out this past Saturday with regards to that game with Alabama State. So kudos to these fan bases turning out for basketball. You're getting some exciting basketball. And we got another barn burner over here in Montgomery right now.
Yeah, Southern goes to the line, misses the front end of a 1-and-1. Alabama State gets the rebound, calls the timeout. And
now you know that 23 seconds gonna last about 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. You saw me think about it, but you're right. Thank you for listening inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I am Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, the Dean of HBCU Sports, coming from inside the lab in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Watson, Charles Bishop, A.D. Drew. Again, we want to thank you for listening to Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Watson and Charles Bishop every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll be back Thursday to talk about the men, and we'll get into some action as that will be fascinating. Turn in the SWAC TV for these evening games on the men's side, because it is complicated, I guess is the term I will use for what's going on in the men's side of the SWAC other than at the top of the standings. With that being said, again, we look forward to Thursday as we discuss the latest news in the lab. Follow me, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil. That's DrKenyattacavil. That's Threads, Facebook, and Instagram. Obviously in Dallas, they're telling folks to stay in line as they extended over 2 hours. So if you're in line, listen to us, stay right there. Get your vote in to make sure your voice is heard. Dream big. Continue to move forward. We will talk with you soon. Charles?
Of course.
Mike?
Lecture.
AD?
Dismiss.
Have a good one, everybody.
All right.
I like that. I like that, AD. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Say it.
You got something for? I'm gonna hit the button. You got something you want to get out?
Alabama State up 1.
That's the perfect way to say it. Everybody teasing. Alabama State up 1.
Yeah.
What happened? Tell us something.
10 minutes later, we still got 5 seconds left.
64-63 with 5.3 seconds left. Good
Yeah,
job.
10 minutes. Yeah.
We'll get out of here on that one. We tried to tease it out for y'all.